Hey there, what's going on? I thought I'd just do a quick review or an impression on well, on this thing that I just got today. I've tried these out before because we used to have a camp up in Rangeley in Maine, up in the mountains, out in the woods, out in the wilderness. And my grandfather bought this camp. It was like a cabin. It was right on the lake, on Wooslick Lake, and I looked right out to Bald Mountain. And it's a beautiful lake if you looked it up or something. It's really beautiful, and they have camps and stuff up there, and places you can even go and, you know, rent a place or something and spend the night and stuff on the lake, or on Rangeley Lake too. But I was just going to do this review on this little thing I got right here. This is the Paine's Balsam Fir Incense, and I got this one in like a little log cabin. I got it from my brother for a Christmas present. It comes with some incense in it and some incense sticks, and well, I got one for myself too, and here it is. This one's like burning. I put some incense in it, so basically all you do is you take this off. It comes with about 10 or so incense logs, balsam fir incense, and it comes in this cool little cabin. And so I thought it was really neat. And the cool thing is that it drafts through the door and up through the chimney, and then it's like a little cabin, and you can see the smoke, you know, coming up from it. It's pretty awesome. It's balsam fir incense. So actually a lot of it grows in Maine and probably some other states too, really northern states, because balsam fir only grows in like zone 4 or less on the U.S. climatic zones system. Maybe occasionally in zone 5. I think that's actually its limit. So it's a really cold climate tree. It's like a pine tree. But it grows this really thin, kind of like a pine tree, but there's a couple that grow out back here in the yard, and I guess they're balsam firs, but they're really tiny, and there's like 2 of them, and you never see them out in the woods normally here around here. I live on the southern coast of Maine, and it's probably a zone 5/6. Get to this is very limit of zone 6, right on the coast, like where I live, and Portland and south. But if you go farther north and into Lewiston, and then you go up to like Farmington, and after Farmington there's a place called Smalls Falls, and there's actually a sign there which says that at the line of Smalls Falls is where the zone changes to it's called a snow forest zone. It's called a Boreal forest zone. It's a really northern zone, or a high elevation zone in a warmer area, and it's where it's mostly just pine trees and birch trees. There's no oaks, there's no maples. It's mostly just birch trees and a ton of pine trees, and a ton of, like, when you're up beyond that zone, there's a ton of balsam fir type, like fir trees. It's not even really white pines or any of that. There's some of those, of course, but there's a lot of fir trees, balsam firs, a lot of birch. You get yellow birch up there. Yeah, of course you get white birch too. You get a lot of white birch down here too, or some white birch, but you don't really get yellow birch down here. I think yellow birch is another really northern birch tree. But anyways, I was just doing a review on this. When I went up there camping this summer, there's all kinds of things. Like I said, those balsam fir trees. When you go up there, you'll drive alongside of the road, and somebody will be selling this like wood, campfire wood and stuff, and you buy it for like $4 or $5 a bundle. So you get a couple bundles of that, and I think most of that's beech, because it's actually pretty thick, quartered logs or eighth logs, large logs, and so they're pretty big. But you start a little tinder bundle with like the balsam firs and the birch bark and stuff, and you start a little tinder thing to get a little fire going, and you just put the firewood logs on it. And they're pretty big, but they light up and then they burn. So I think it's beech. But I was just doing a little impression on this thing. It's Paine's Balsam for Incense. The cool thing is, it smells like when I went up, this summer, went up there and there'd be tons of balsam fir, so I just, you kind of just pull one down. They just kind of pull right down, they're dead. And I pulled some down and threw them on the fire and burned them, and they burn quick because they're like pines. But it had this awesome smell to them. And anyways, that's what this incense is, those balsam firs. What it is, it smells like a campfire, but it smells like a dusty, this richness of incensiness to it, a dry, incensey, dirty, like piney, kind of really woody, really, just this, I don't know how to explain it, but really woody, incensey smell to it. And it smells like you're kind of burning fire, but there's a particular thing with balsam fir that is different than just burning a fire like I do, like oak logs or maple logs or white pines and stuff. They all have their unique nice smells too, but this one has a unique nice smell too. And when I put those in those trees and broke them up and put them in the fire, it was just awesome sort of incensey fragrance that came through. And anyways, that's what this is, Paine's Balsam for Incense. I just want to do a little quick impression on that. I don't know if anybody has seen these before. How I actually learned about these originally, I looked them up because I got one for a Christmas present for my brother, and of course I got this one, for me in my house, because I like balsam fir, the smell of it. And I like this cool little log cabin idea here where it kind of smokes out of the chimney like that. But I remember when I went up to the camp, because my grandfather used to own it, and he died a long time ago. And back then, when we used to go up when we were little kids, my dad had it. Me and my brother would go up there on the weekends, and he'd already dead for a while, but he was really into, he used to have all these old fishing poles and stuff from the 60s and stuff from the wall. I mean, my brother would wake up early in the morning, or I'd be ready to go. I'd be like, get there on the weekend at night, on Friday, like at 9 o'clock, we'd finally get to that camp, because it takes about 3 hours or 2.5 hours just to drive up there. And there'd be a fireplace. My dad would light a fire, and then it would warm the place up, because there was no oil and no running water, and there was electricity, but you're right on the lake, so it was awesome when you wake up in the days and stuff in the summer. That's when we'd go. But I guess my grandfather had tons of stuff up there. These old fishing poles, and a lot of old board games like Yahtzee and different board games, and a TV with an antenna, and you'd have to turn the dial and actually turn the antenna. There's an electronic remote to turn that, because you wouldn't get so many channels up there. But just an awesome, far away kind of wilderness like experience. But in a camp, there's people around and stuff. There's a little town down the road, and then Rangeley and stuff. But and there was a dartboard, and we used to play the darts till we went to bed and stuff, and whatever, and do other things. It was cool. And of course, walk out to the lake, and it was pitch black in the middle of the night when we first got there, but we had to walk out to the lake and hear the lake and stuff. And this is the awesome thing. If you ever went up to that lake, it's the height of the land. We used to get up there about 8 or 9 at night, and it was dark. By the time we got up there, we'd leave when it was light out, and it took like a few hours to get there. And you see these little lights across the lake, and it's a pretty huge lake. It's like an inland ocean, really. When you get up there, there's a lot of wind that can come off that lake, and then other times it can be completely flat, especially in the mornings. I think the mountains, because mountains surrounding it, I think the wind comes down off the mountains, or the air sinks, and it just pushes this breeze right across. And it can be pretty breezy. So, the waves can be pretty tough if you're canoeing or something like that. I've been blown onto the shore so many times, and it can be really tough, but you can do it. The lake's always pretty cold too, but you can still swim in it. It's a really rocky lake, but you can take a boat on it too, and there's a lot of buoys. But anyways, up at the camp, he had this there was just a box of this incense, this Paine's incense. It wasn't a cabin thing like this, but it was just a box with a little stick incense burner, piece of wood, and you put it. I read it a few times, so I knew about this incense, but I just wanted to show this thing. One thing that I guess people have complained about with this incense, and I know it too, is that it's hard to get it lit. But the thing is with this incense, it's like a big thing. If you just light it, and it makes a flame, and you get a little bit of red coal on it, and you put it out, or it goes out, start blowing on it, and you put it in, it'll last for like a little bit, and then it'll go out. The key to these incenses is to burn it a little bit farther, like really burn that end. Don't just burn the tip, really burn the entire kind of end piece a bit, and get it going. And once the entire end makes a full coal, it'll just keep going. After that, if you don't make a full coal in the end, it'll probably die out, you know, after a little ways. But make it so it's, you know, you burn it pretty much, it's probably like this long, so you burn about, you know, this much of it and at the tip, and just kind of keep burning with your lighter, and then it'll light on fire, and then you just hold it, and then when it makes a full coal, you can stick it into something like this or the other incense burner, and it'll just keep on burning. But that's the only complaint I've ever read, and I've run across it too. But anyways, that's how you do it. But this smells, I mean, I love it because I love the smell of a wood fire or a campfire or something. It's not an incense like a regular incense. It's like the smell of a wood fire, but it's balsam fir, and it's just really incensey wood. It smells really good. Anyway, just thought I'd put this out sort of as a little video. The Paine's balsam fir incense sticks. I think they even sell cedar ones too. But anyway, there you go. Pretty cool. Check it out.